All right, we are live. Hey, you got the clicker?
Oh,
Okay, there we go. That officially kicks it off. We're back, episode number 9. It's been too many episodes. I think we're gonna have to quit soon. That's it.
yeah, we don't have a place for that second digit.
We have with us today the great and honorable Ryan. Insert last name that I don't know.
Well, it's either Rubik's or Greenham.
That's my last name. Insert.
Rubik's?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, good enough. He doesn't
Good
want to be
enough.
known for all the chemistry or the chemical bombs that he made over in
And Ryan,
Syria.
what do you do? Ryan, what do you do for a living?
I do chemistry.
And what kind of chemistry specifically? Do you do pharmaceuticals or hydrocarbons or?
Environmental testing for hydrocarbons. Yeah.
So is this testing how the environment creates more hydrocarbons that we need, or is
Sure.
this?
No.
For the dumbasses in the room, can you explain what hydrocarbons are?
Oil.
Hydrocarbons are various, oils and saturated carbon molecules, hydrogen. So your various oils or fuels like diesel, gasolines, other such things.
Wait, you can make us free gas?
Sure.
If you had air, you could turn it into gasoline.
Not easily.
Oh, but if there's a lot of things in life that aren't easy, how would you do it?
It would be extremely difficult to create gasoline from the air.
What about all the plastic that's in the Pacific Ocean?
I guess in theory you could split that up into various molecules, which could be gasoline, but gasolines are it's tricky breaking the plastics up into a more reactive form. Probably
Don't you just
expend
have
more
to-
energy.
But aren't plastics like a really long, complicated hydrocarbon? Can't you just like snap them in half?
The problem is all the extra crap that's on there.
Oh, you mean like how people don't rinse out their plastics before throwing them in the ocean?
Yeah, exactly. All that
And
food
like-
would just get in your gasoline. No.
And like all the little fishies too that have grown up around the stuff.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to take away their homes. The gasoline molecules react negatively to that.
Or their necklaces.
Yeah. But it would be rather difficult, I guess, to make gasoline. Gasoline's a very reactive molecule. You're trying to make reactive molecules, which takes more energy than it's really worth.
Would
Right.
something like fuel oil be easier?
Fuel oils are essentially longer chains, so it'd be easier to break down from a different product, but not easier, I guess, to synthesize from, say, air.
Okay.
But if you broke down-
do they have more of a tolerance for externalities in the fuel?
Externalities?
Like, say you couldn't wash off all your pizza before tossing the pizza box out.
Into your cylinder where it blows up.
Oh, okay. Externalities in general would be troublesome. You're trying to make a fuel of some sort. But I suppose fuels would probably be a little more accepted than trying to make gasoline, as it's a longer chain hydrocarbon. But
Okay.
but still pretty difficult.
Okay.
Now,
Next.
wait, I've got one more. Like, just going back to the ocean for a minute, there's
Okay.
other kinds of oils in the ocean, and now Japan is actively looking at this. They've got these things in the ocean called whales. How hard is
Really?
it to turn whale oil into gasoline?
What are whales?
The things Dory speaks
Where'd
to.
you grow up again?
Under a
Pretty
rock,
whale
apparently.
oil.
You can
And that's
burn
where-
whale oil, can't you? Like,
You certainly can, yeah. And that's probably one of the easier ways of retrieving hydrocarbons, not specifically from whales, but from
from the
animals
ocean.
in general. Not just animals in general who produce fatty acids and such things. Even humans, to some extent, could, just gather up a bunch of humans, put them in a big pot, and extract all the oils from them.
So you do that by just boiling them, right? And then the oil separates and floats to the top, or?
There's extraction methods. I won't get too far into that, but
Oh, if
There's
you're
various
boiling it,
ways.
so the pink slime that they turn into hamburgers comes out the bottom of the tank, right?
sure.
Okay.
You
I
could
figured it-
distill a human, I guess. Turn them into the various parts.
Okay, can
Now,
we reverse
let's-
It's getting kind of dark, though.
that? Can we reverse that? Can we
Uh,
synthesize a human?
You could synthesize it, but it would be pretty difficult. And especially after you boil them down and render them, there's a lot of chemical change that you introduce during that process that would be very difficult to undo.
Yeah, try
Like,
creating a DNA from just the bare components.
That's pretty much what you'd be doing, along with, and if you lose any gases along the way, then you'd have to retrieve those gases and introduce them back into the slurry, human slurry.
Good.
I think it's officially called pink slime now.
Pink slime, yes. But it would be difficult. But getting back to the original question, your whale oil. Whales just possess a lot of fatty acids in their blubber and other such things. So if you were to break those long chain fatty acids and hydrogenate them, then you could create long chain hydrocarbons and bust them into smaller hydrocarbons, which would make yourself a fuel. But anything that has oils or fats, you could do the same thing for. But just whales are a vast source of this oil.
Great.
But that's part of the reason that they're also using various plants and trying to use co-diesel or whatever.
You
I'm
mean
not exactly sure what the term is.
canola oil?
So they're turning those long chain fatty acids, which the plants produce, into fuels. It's the same thing, except we're not murdering whales.
Biodiesel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
biodiesel. That's the term.
The
Yeah.
Ford thing is the eco whatever, I think. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just in general for
Well,
gasoline cars that are. Yeah.
The Ford has the EcoBoost engine, which does so much. But it's like putting ethanol in your.
This podcast is sponsored by Ford. Drive better.
I thought we were sponsored by the whale hunters.
Ah, Japanese Whale Hunting Inc.
Yep.
Ford and the Japanese Whale Hunters.
A rare combination.
Oh yes. Or is it?
I'm sure they like being put together too.
Oh yeah.
Neither of them like each other.
Can't have one without the other.
And then we're also sponsored by the suppliers of the Great Plastic Island in the Pacific.
And PETA.
Oh, PETA has a lot of nice things to say about me if they actually thought about it. But
They're not the smartest group of people.
Ooh,
but,
burning bridges there, Justin.
Listen, I've seen some pretty stupid shit come out of them. Anyway, Robin, do you have any burning chemistry questions that you've just always wanted answered that now you have the opportunity to have answered by a qualified professional?
Definitely not.
There's got to be something. Like what actually happens when you put baking soda and vinegar together?
Sure.
There's miniature whales, which all eject the the air
which all
at the same
use their
time.
blowholes at the same time.
Exactly.
Wait, so you're giving
And it makes bubbles.
You think it's funny, but this is chemistry.
You guys don't study fire, right? Because fire is a living thing, right?
Of course, yeah. Fire's a good thing.
Is it actually a living thing?
No.
No.
It is not.
I was gonna say that'd be news to me.
Be pretty sweet.
William's not very good at sarcasm.
Maybe she's just like Sheldon and doesn't get it.
I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the
Now,
podcast to
if a-
catch up. So
If you light a whale on fire, is fire a living thing?
Oh my god, here we go again. Are you
the whale
obsessed with
was
whales?
though.
The whale is a living thing.
how do
If
you
the
light
fire
a...
becomes them, though,
No,
does
no.
the fire define what the whale is? If
There
it's a
is
whale
no-
on fire?
Okay, we're going to very quickly get back to the blowing up whale video again, but
That whale was dead before they
Use-
put the dynamite under it. It doesn't count.
there's
Create diesel
The whale-
fuel from a whale oil and then light the whale on fire with the diesel.
the whale lives in the ocean, right? So there's no way to actually get it to catch on fire without removing it from the ocean.
If
And
you
then it's
can
not
get
going to
the
be
fire
alive.
hot enough and have a source of oxygen, you can light that whale on fire underwater. Again, the effort required to make this happen, though, would be extreme.
I just got to know why. There's no absolutely zero reason ever.
Okay, what exothermic reaction produces oxygen?
There's a number, I'm sure, but one off the top of my head, something to do with hydrogen peroxide.
Well,
Perhaps.
hydrogen
What is it?
peroxide in salt water just breaks down and creates more water.
And in
right?
fact, if you want, a very simple one would just be exposing hydrogen peroxide to UV light, I believe.
I'm sorry,
But-
what was the
But
reaction?
the water insulates against UV light.
I'm lost. What's the reaction? What was the...
Exothermic.
He wants an
reaction.
exothermic reaction that produces oxygen,
Something that
Exothermic
could
is what kind? What is that doing?
releases
releases
energy.
heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
That also
what?
releases oxygen and not what? What?
It has to release oxygen so the oxygen can react with the fat in the whale to create an actual.
We're
Oh,
still.
I didn't
We're
realize
trying
we were getting back to
trying
this.
to light the whale on fire underwater, so we need a good source of oxygen.
Wait, whoa! You remember that Russian submarine, the Kursk, that was experimenting with the new source of oxygen, and it was some liquid, and when it reacts with metal, it expands or releases oxygen, right? What's it called? But that's an exothermic reaction that releases a lot of energy because the Kursk lost the front half of itself.
Oh, whoops.
And that was when Putin was on a jet ski in the Caspian Sea, and it was quite an interesting political event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, sure.
But just
So anyway. Whales.
Still? Oh, the whale
So
obsession tonight.
back to the baking soda and vinegar. It is an acid-base reaction, which releases carbon dioxide. That is the bubbles that you see.
There's not really much to it, is it?
There's not very much to it. No, it's an acid which releases a proton to a base, and releases carbon dioxide as a result.
Right. So
That's
at the
pretty much it.
basic level, is stuff coming out of both to make the carbon dioxide? Is it like pieces?
It
coming
doesn't
together?
so much come out. It's not really the vinegar that is creating the carbon dioxide. It's more the sodium bicarbonate, which is the baking soda,
Right.
that is reforming itself in the presence of acid to create carbon dioxide.
All right. And then you just get like what? So what's left over is
just
whatever vinegar is and whatever's left of the baking soda minus the
CO2.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Ish.
just kind of cool. Ish. Yeah.
I'm sure I learned that before when I actually was in chemistry.
Simple acid-base reactions. Nothing too exciting once you get into it.
How do they light gummy bears on fire?
you stick
Hey.
magnesium in their head like you're spearing them, and then you light the magnesium on fire.
No.
That's another way.
there's a way to just make them burn. That's not. I can't remember though.
I think you're talking about. I think it's potassium permanganate, not potassium permanganate, but potassium perchlorate, I believe.
Right.
that you add to sugar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does
I
react with the
think.
sugar. I remember that much. Yeah.
I think it was potassium perchlorate. Exactly sure what it was, but yeah, it's a reaction between the sugars molecule. I'd have to look up the exact reaction, but very exothermic and pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that in chemistry. What do they call the boxes with the glass that you do things in and you close the door?
Box
Do they have a name for them? I know they got names for everything
balance.
else. I don't know.
What are you referring to?
So you just I don't know. Just like that's kind of like a chamber where you can just do things and not kill yourself with them.
Oh,
Doesn't
like the
matter.
stuff in the classrooms? Those like little box thingies?
Oh, you mean a whale?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
the stomach of a whale. That's exactly
The
what I was
stomach of a
referring
whale.
to.
That fits that definition.
Oh, okay, just getting back to a second. High test. Oh shoot! I need that name again. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, high test peroxide?
Yeah. So high test peroxide, when it reacts with metal, it releases oxygen, right?
That would make sense.
So you could technically use that, right?
Depends on the metal, but yeah, you could use that, I guess.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
All right, next question.
There's-
How do we make chemical bombs?
No, we're skipping that one.
There's a lot of easy ways to make bombs.
How do we make things
Yeah,
work
how
with
do you
the
make a
bomb?
bong?
A bomb is literally
No,
any.
a bong. A bong.
How do you make a bong?
Yeah.
Bong. B-O-N-G.
Si, senor.
Ryan, are you experienced in this?
Some glass. Make a ball. Blow some glass, I guess, and then you can make yourself a bong. Get a nice
Okay.
vase. Eat up the
Shall
top.
we move on to a real topic?
Hold it.
Yeah, let's
Like
do that.
whales? Let's talk about whales.
No, let's talk
Oh
about
my
Ryan.
The country or the
something
animal?
else to do with water and
Wait.
sticky situations.
You mean like whales?
Is Wales a country?
No,
Wales is a country.
Is it?
It's not a country. Oh, whoa. It is a section of a country.
Okay.
No, it's part of the British Commonwealth, which is 4 countries, isn't it?
Pretty sure it's all in the country.
Wales. No, not that type of Wales.
Okay, but so you recently graduated, right, Ryan?
Yes.
It's a country.
You graduated with honors
Yes.
and distinction
Sure.
and a bunch of good stuff, and you had to write a thesis, right?
Yes.
Do you want to summarize that for us?
As regarding whales,
Are you serious?
no.
This boy is obsessed.
I heard it had something to do with wading through shit, though, so I'm still pretty interested to hear this.
Yeah, no, it was the examination of trace level pharmaceuticals in wastewater. So we tested a variety of pharmaceuticals in various wastewater treatment methods to see which one was the best and which one was the worst for the ones that we tested anyway.
I thought you were giving fish drugs for a minute, and I was all excited.
Yeah, no, that's biology side of things. But no, and we then it's just to assess the impact, I guess, that local water systems may be having from pharmaceuticals that kind of go undetected, or no, maybe not undetected, but unsupervised, for lack of a better word, unobserved. Yeah, things such as even over-the-counter drugs like acetaminophen, things like that, caffeine. That was another big one that we were looking at.
What do you really see a lot of it in the water?
You see a lot of it. Yeah.
Which water? So is this? Wait, what water were you looking at? Just
wastewater.
Just okay.
So we look at the water that was traveling in from water systems, and then we'd take a concentration reading of that of the particular pharmaceuticals, and then we take a reading of what it is after the treatment process. Then determine the percent efficiency from that.
I see.
Whatever happens in the middle. Yeah.
Right.
Could you see how much THC a town was consuming, for example, with this method?
We weren't examining it, but definitely assess that.
That's
Yeah.
kind of that's
But when
interesting.
you did your tests, you just put it in a spectrograph and saw everything, right?
Not everything, no. We were searching for particular ions of our interest. Because looking at everything, it's wastewater. There's so many different things, and metabolites from humans and all that kind of stuff. Various whale products and other such things.
Oh my
It would
god.
just be a complete mess.
Can't
And you
So
also have to
handle it.
remember the byproducts of the whale refinement.
yes, so we look at very specific ions that would only be for a particular molecule. So caffeine would break into a particular pattern that only caffeine would break into. We look
Well,
at
how-
acetaminophen.
Can you stick
Yeah.
it back after it breaks, or is it once it's
It
broken?
would be
it's broken
extremely difficult.
I'm pretty sure that's how Tim
put it
Hortons
back
makes
together.
their coffee based on the taste.
forever? Oh, there goes another sponsorship.
Yeah, burning bridges. Jeez.
Hey, they're owned by an American company now. Fuck them.
No, I thought they're owned by Americans now, not by the Brazilians.
I'm pretty sure it's American. That's what I heard recently.
Okay.
Tim Hortons own.
Is Tim's owned by Brazil's?
By a Japanese whaling company.
Hmm.
Oh my.
And I got the official mascot for the Brazilian games.
But yeah, so we found various technologies. Some of them were very, very good at removing all sorts of pharmaceuticals from the water. Trace ones as well, such as diabetes medication like metformin, blood thinners like warfarin, and a wide variety.
What do they do with so after they filter the water? Is that going back through right into the town's water system, or is that going somewhere else?
It depends on the place. Some of them discharge into the ocean. Some of them discharge into a river, which travels downstream to another water system.
Mhm.
Like a
It
tributary.
really depends.
Right.
And yeah,
And
most towns have wastewater systems, but some of the towns that have a low budget for this sort of thing sometimes even discharge wastewater directly into water systems, which not advisable, but money sometimes comes down to money.
So once this
could it
stuff breaks
eventually
down-
be an issue to have stuff like drugs in our drinking water?
Yeah, they definitely have impact on the organisms that live there. More so with estrogen-based compounds.
Damn it, women.
Oh, this is
Or
Hey,
steroidal.
not that bad.
It's more so steroidal compounds though, but even like testosterone-based compounds or stuff like that. But those are the ones that cause like sex changes within certain species of organisms, or there's
Are
a
you
wide
talking,
variety
like,
of effects.
like smaller organisms.
like seahorses or
Smaller organisms typically, but you have to
Right.
look at also like biomagnification that takes
Okay.
place. So the fish eats the smaller fish, which may
Okay,
have
right.
a lot of this, and then it eats 10 of those fish. Then a bigger fish eats a fish, 10 of those fish, and then we eat that fish that is eaten, through biomagnification, like essentially 10,000 of those fishes.
And
So-
suddenly Will has tits and nobody knows why.
Of course, Willie gets them. Nobody else.
Well, Ryan's gonna grow a whale apparently.
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Oh, can we get some good whale puns in here?
So I'm just curious.
I
though.
hear they all blow.
Why? It would be a whale of a time.
Hey.
How do you weigh a whale? You take it to the railway station.
Well.
Well. Very nice.
Oh God.
Uh,
Any other questions?
so you're looking at these once they've broken down, right? So caffeine will be broken down into this and this.
Yes.
But do those, if you consume both those at the same time, or if the fish is consuming your broken down estrogen, Does it have the same effect as estrogen? Or does it
Yeah.
have some...
It might have some effect on their biology, and their biology is very different than human biology as well. So it
But
affects
I
them in
heard a
different
rumor
ways. But
that 99% of our DNA is the same as a banana.
that's false, I imagine.
Let me get my
The
Facebook
pause,
news feed
though.
up.
A banana's 99%. I don't know.
It's hard
That
to
seems
say
a little
though.
extreme.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe,
hard to
like,
say, but
kind of cannibals in a way.
Okay, it's 50%. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was
It's
gonna
like
say
how vastly
99% is
right.
yeah.
Right. Well, think about though how vastly different things can be just based on one molecule being different, right?
Oh, it's amazing what kind of differences that just a small change in even an atom in certain places can have. Such as take for instance the opiates. The structure of various opiates such as morphine versus heroin. It's a matter of change of I think one functional group, which might be a matter of 4 atoms. So you change
Now-
4 atoms, and then all of a sudden you change from morphine, which is it's a potent pain reliever, but not nearly as potent as heroin.
Yeah.
But functional, if you look at the basic structure of both of the molecules, they're extremely similar. But just a small change in a functional group in entirely different molecules.
Now, I think I'm asking this question for everybody right now. How do we make this change?
That
Can you do it in the hospital while you're in the bed? Is that possible? Before it enters
Do you just
your
get a
body?
pair of some tweezers and go and just twist it, or?
absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan.
Oh wait, are you familiar with like they say margarine is one molecule away from plastic? Is that
What's one molecule away from plastic?
Well,
sorry?
margarine is
Margarine.
one molecule away from plastic bags, apparently.
One molecule away from plastic bags? Not quite. I mean, if you're talking like polyethylene, yes, that's probably the type of plastic bag that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess it's margarine has a lot of it's a long chain fatty acid again, which is similar in structure to also saturated fats such as butter. So I mean,
How
if
close
you
is it to whale?
they're pretty close to whale as well. So those fatty acids, they all have a very similar structure. The matter with margarine is that it has more. It's not as saturated, I guess, as butter would be. So as a result, it's quicker because there's more kinks in its chain. And yeah, so it's not so much, I guess, to do with. And before in the past, they made these fatty acids by hydrogenating things, and they made these trans fatty acids, trans fats, which they degrade into trans fats, which would be a problem. And now there's not a lot of trans fats in a lot of things. But yeah, to say that they're both one molecule away from plastic is incorrect. There's molecules on there that make plastic from, I suppose.
Hmm.
But that's
Right.
true of
Yeah.
almost all triglycerides.
I'm just reading a thing here on it now, and it's talking about.
There's a lot of buzz around margarine. People trying to justify that it's worse than butter or other sorts of things. But if you look at the basic structure of the main ingredients of butter or margarine or other such fats, they're very, very similar. Just different kinks in its hydrocarbon chain.
Right.
Just one quick question. You mentioned that margarine was kinky, right? Had a lot of kinks?
Oh yeah.
Could you just repeat that to my girlfriend? Just kidding.
What girlfriend?
Shut
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
Kristen.
Does Will have a girl?
No.
I guess you could use margarine as lube if you wanted to.
Nope.
Just careful it's not too hot.
Oh god. Yep, you went there.
Okay.
That, like,
Now, do you have any experience in trying to clean that one up?
Well, KY Jelly just dropped us as a sponsor, so
Peanut butter companies will still be in though.
Yeah, whale fat also works well as a lube.
I'm sure it does actually.
Did
Mermaids
you
use
not?
that.
Okay, and
Apparently, according to myth anyway, the ambergris from a whale is supposed to attract mermaids. It's a very specific, very musty, like almost deathly smell. But apparently, mermaids can't get enough of it. So, if you're ever looking to attract mermaids, get some ambergris, which is a whale product.
okay. Actually, how do they get whale products now that? Oh, what?
I mean, how do they get whale products?
Now that we've lost the liberty of going and shooting them.
What do you mean?
You can't go harvest a whale.
Ooh.
I can do what I want. Legally, yeah. But there's, as I say, there's a lot of other. Like, if you're looking to get some sort of fat, just go and harvest a canola plant as opposed to kill a whale. You'll have to harvest a lot more canola plants than you will have to a whale. But again, it's a matter of ethics at that.
And do you want to know a
Likewise,
fun fact about
you could
canola?
go wipe out an entire race of people to acquire require fatty acids. If you really wanted to, but it's our human ethics and laws.
I know Will's into that kind of thing.
us.
Yeah, throw William under the bus. So I think that covers making gasoline from the air as being extremely hard. So
It'd be extremely hard. You'd have to turn carbon dioxide, which is a very low concentration as is. You have to break it down from a form that is extremely stable into a form that is very reactive, which just requires a ton of energy.
We could just squeeze it till it gets it to that point, right? Like what happened under the ground?
You'd have to squeeze it pretty hard. But if you feel up for the task, absolutely.
If I cut my hands really tightly.
You can make some fuel. That was a list of puns. That's a reach.
A fuel.
That was
Yeah.
So has anybody got distracted this week by anything that's not whale related?
Oh, I've been distracted by I don't know, maybe everybody thought they were gonna die last Friday night. That was kind of silly.
What?
Oh, when Trump decided to shoot some missiles over at Syria.
You meant when he gave them warning, and they were tomahawks. He threw tomahawks.
Yeah, just tomahawks.
Well, see, like nobody got mad. Like everybody started freaking out, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna die." Like nobody ever said anything when Obama did it.
You'll have to excuse me for a second.
Yep.
It's the restroom.
Unacceptable.
Go contribute to medications in the water supply.
Think all the drugs that are going in the water while he's in there.
I think Robin's frozen.
Yep. She did.
Well, should
my audio is starting to come back a little bit, but
do you have Twitch like running right now? Like
I do.
Streaming? Well, you got internet though. She doesn't. Just pause it.
Oh, do you want? Can I tell the sparrow story?
Hoping that would work better.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, it's working. Okay, I'm good.
William Sparrow.
So, back in 2005, there was a World Domino Day, and this community in Holland wanted to celebrate by breaking the world record for the most dominoes knocked over, and they set up 4 million dominoes, and then as they're setting up, a bird flies in and knocks over 23,000 of them. Just by accident, it lands on one and doesn't notice it fall over, and that starts a domino effect, quite literally. Now, these people tried their best to catch the hydrocarbons flying around the air with nets and stuff, but they couldn't catch it. And they were getting desperate because they didn't want to lose any more hard work. So someone shot it. And unfortunately, the sparrow died of an acute onset of, lead poisoning. But unfortunately, the sparrow was a protected bird. So they got fined 200 euros.
Ouch.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. But the animal protection agencies were not very happy with that. So they like sent death threats and everything to this poor little community, and the police had to be called in and be posted around the building. And the people wanted to evangelize this little sparrow. So they put up a reward of 3,000 euros to anybody who could knock down the dominoes before Domino Day, because they were going to televise it and everything, and they just wanted to wreck it.
What the
So-
fuck? Where was this?
Talk about spite.
This was in Holland, in Europe.
Ugh.
So, but
Is that close to Wales by chance?
no, it's a little bit away from Wales. Now, anybody who
I
wants
just wanted
to
to say
pay
Wales.
respect to this bird, or this dead sparrow, the police seized it and kept its carcass as evidence that it got shot, right? And then after 3 months, because of the big kerfuffle it had caused, they donated it to the Natural History Museum in Rotterdam, where it was stuffed and taxidermied. And I think we have a photo of that if Justin wants to go have a look there.
Oh shoot! I didn't even click that thing. Why would they? Don't you think that would just make them more mad? Typically, people who really love animals really don't like taxidermy.
Well, look at how bad the taxidermy is in the little. It looks so cocky the way they've got it set up, or its stances. I think it's.
Which.
I dropped a photo in Discord as well.
Oh, okay. That's easier. Oh wow.
It is
Wow.
kind of.
That's pretty cute.
It is, but the glass eyes are way too big for it.
I'd order one.
So
It's coming. There it is.
now this brings up the question of whether you should send death threats to people.
Like Ryan, who kill innocent animals, like whales. for
Yeah,
their
like if
feels.
you kill
Like whales, exactly.
It is
How
kind
did
of
it get to
cute.
death threats? What's going on here?
you see the sparrow on the screen.
It's
Sparrow
gone
on the
now.
Oh, the sparrow's gone.
It's in the Discord
Yeah.
chat.
A sparrow tried sabotaging Road Domino Day, and the
Understand.
Road Domino Day survived, and they shot the sparrow, and some people got mad about the shot sparrow, and now this shot sparrow is stuffed.
Okay.
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 Was
Okay.
it good?
That reminds me of the monk.
The monk.
The monk.
Yeah.
Plane.
That sounds like a really bad action film.
No, like there was this really old monk that they had found, and it turned out that there was a mummified corpse inside of one of the
Oh, when they
Worshippers.
x-rayed it.
yeah, when they x-rayed it, they found this corpse in it, and they were like, wow, okay. I haven't read the article in a long time, but it's in the doc.
It is pretty close to the bottom of the dock, right?
Yeah, I think it did get pushed down there.
It's right above.
Did they ever find Geppetto inside the whale?
Oh my goodness. If we were getting paid for how many times whale came up in this podcast, we'd be rich.
I heard whales are pretty smart. If you'd like to invest in
They're
us,
smart.
if you'd like to
Well-
invest in us, whales, we're open.
Yeah, we talk about all the products of whales. But I heard I was on the Wikipedia for the Falkland Islands once upon a time last year, and I learned something interesting. The penguins on no, I need to tell you guys what penguins are.
Are they
No.
related to the whale?
I mean,
Well,
you
they
may as
are
well.
in this story.
Way
So
back,
back
when penguins used to exist.
Well, in
Okay.
the Falklands, there used to be a whaling station, right? So they used to get the whales, and then they'd refine or boil or the whales. Like after they're dead, they boil. They're not like lobsters, and then but they needed fuel to boil the whales with. So they used penguins because penguins have a lot of fat too. So they nearly drove
Sure.
penguins to extinction on the Falklands. But thanks to the Argentinians, there's now penguins there again because the Argentinians put landmines everywhere. But they're finding that these penguins, they only grow to a certain size because if they grow any heavier, they'll set off the landmines when they're walking around.
Oh my goodness.
Here's a
So-
question. Do you think penguins belong Christmas?
No, Santa's from the north.
Exactly. They're
Penguins
from
are a southern
they're the
man's
South
animal.
Pole.
Yeah.
So they're the furthest thing that you can get away from Christmas. But yet
Besides,
it's prominently, showcased in various Christmas things.
I think that's
Doesn't
the
make any sense.
failure of our education system.
Oh, big time.
It's like how people think lemmings commit suicide.
They don't.
It's really someone with a board just off screen pushing it to the edge.
Poor lemmings.
Poor lemons or lemmings?
Lemmings.
Okay, because I'm pretty sour about lemons.
I did.
Ha ha ha.
We were talking. I remembered reading this or seeing this article last week about, or earlier this week. I can't remember now, about the ice in Antarctica and how they're actually like that. Down there, it's actually growing. The glaciers are growing down in Antarctica,
Okay.
which is kind of interesting because typically we just think that all the ice is melting because especially up here in the north.
You do not mean immigration and customs enforcement down there, do you?
No.
Okay.
Ice.
Because
That's-
bureaucracy is a terrible plague on this planet.
Oh. Burning more bridges here. The sponsor list is growing very thin.
Yeah, this says that satellite measurements show that an 82 to 112 gigaton a year net ice gain. That's a lot
Okay,
of
can you
tons.
put that in a measurement that I can relate to?
That's like a gigaton is a billion tons.
So actually, does that mean that sea levels would be going down?
I'm not so
If
sure.
we're
I'm not sure if
taking
it's that
water
much.
out-
I'm not sure it's that much ice. Hard to say how much we're putting in it elsewhere.
Like, does that mean like a millimeter decrease in the ocean if we take that much water out, or?
I'm not really
Ice
sure.
is actually it has more volume than water. So,
right.
yeah. So actually,
But-
creating ice would raise ocean levels.
But is this
Here.
ice in the water, or is this ice on land above the water?
Well, most of it probably be below, wouldn't it?
Below land, on
icebergs.
water?
Below water.
With the case of icebergs, most of its form is underwater.
Right. Is that a mad fiddler?
Pardon?
What are you drinking?
Not a mad fiddler.
Or whatever those things are called, the ginger ale things.
It is not a ginger ale. It is a winter lager.
No, it's not like just ginger ale. It's like a ginger ale.
Okay, we just lost our Alexander Keith sponsorship.
Damn it. That's all right.
We're gonna have no sponsors by the
I
end
got
of
the
this.
Mooseheads guy on speed dial. We buy kegs now.
Beer is good.
God is great.
Oh, that was
Beer
my
is good.
recommended. That was the first recommendation for me this week in Spotify.
What, a real song for once?
Beer is good. Me like beer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about People Are Crazy by Bill and Currington.
Oh, I didn't have that one this week. Do you want to actually have a little guess of what I had for music selection on Monday morning?
Sure.
Spotify's going slow now. So it starts off with Set It on Fire. And if we go further down,
Like whales?
yeah. If we go further down, we get We Didn't Start the Fire somewhere in here.
Okay.
Yep, right there. And it's just a bunch of like contradictions. Like it should make up its mind and be consistent at least. But yeah.
So 2 songs?
Okay, I can tell you more, but
Fair enough.
they might not be funny after the first 2. I'm going by the reaction to that one. Like, second suggestion was Power Rangers bagpipe theme. Then Roughest Neck Around.
What?
Then
Power
I
Rangers
was-
bagpipe theme. All right, let's talk about that. What did you have to search for that to come up?
I have no clue. Like, if I go to the only song I chose from last week to keep on my permanent thing was You Want It Darker by Leonard Cohen. And I do not see how either of those are remotely related.
Black Ranger? Question mark? And Dark, like,
You Want It
I
Darker?
don't know how that would connect to Scott.
Like, Leonard Cohen and bagpipes are not the same thing.
No.
So does anybody have any other stuff that distracted them this week?
Play something.
My lagging computer is pretty distracting.
So what kind of computer do you have?
It is an HP Pavilion.
That's the problem.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you get the computer?
2014?
2014? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the lifespan on a computer nowadays?
2 years,
That is
3
a
years,
good question.
depending on how much you pay for it.
Okay, so
If it's
my
a somewhat expensive one, you're gonna get more time out of it.
It can last a while.
Well,
I used-
apparently $1,000 back then isn't worth anything now because this thing can't stay working.
I bought this.
What sort of CPU GPU combo you got in there?
Probably no GPU. That'd be the
Probably no GPU,
Actually, I
that's-
think there
that's
is
a-
one. 'Cause
but
It's a Pavilion, but it's not a real GPU. It's one
Integrated?
step better than integrated.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an i3 or an i1 in there?
I'd hope not an i1 in 2014.
I have
Jeez.
no idea.
they still put Pentiums in computers. That should be illegal at this
Oh, they
point.
do.
Or were you talking about HP or? I think Dell does that
In
too.
general.
Yeah, in general.
Oh, a lot do.
All of them do. It's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Well, HP made my computer here, and it's only been back for repairs like 3 times.
It's every HP I've ever
There you
seen.
go.
Like they put a video card in there, and it would blue screen like once a month. It was terrible.
That's
And it
why you
wasn't
build
a
your
good
own.
video card.
You
What?
don't have those problems when you build your own.
Yeah, you didn't
Real.
have any problems with your computer.
No, I don't have any.
Could
problems.
have a swath of problems though.
What problems have I
When
had?
you-
I feel like he's
No,
being
no, when-
sarcastic.
When you build it. But
Yeah.
if you build it correctly, then it's fantastic.
All right, just pressing the power button the first time is a little nerve wracking. That's all.
That's the only iffy part. But
As long as it doesn't let the smoke out.
Yeah.
once you got it, you got it. It's pretty sweet.
But yeah.
But the old pavilions, yeah. I had one myself. I had well, not a pavilion, but an old Samsung from 2012 that I was using up to about 4 months ago.
Mm.
It was pretty trash by the end.
Yeah. If you
But it can run Factorio.
well,
It could,
yeah.
it could run Factorio, but
What did it have
Yeah,
in
it
it
was-
for a processor?
it was an i3 23 something, 2330, I think.
Yeah.
But it was a dual core, I
Right.
believe. Yeah.
It
I
wasn't
feel
a
like-
2330K.
No, I don't think it was unlocked.
No. Probably
And I
not.
would never unlock that anyway with the cooler that it had in it.
Yeah.
It was by the end it was a rattling fan that was underpowered and it would just like melt your leg.
Well, have you guys ever heard of this problem? Like, so this HP right now, when you turn it on, the fan motor doesn't start spinning fast enough at the start to provide enough resistance that the computer registers there's a fan in there. So, have you guys ever heard of that being a problem?
No.
Okay. When I cut out one day, you'll know why then.
You could underclock your CPU if it's too much heat.
Mac does that. They're good at that.
Oh, Mac, that's a whole other bucket of worms.
Yeah, Linus Tech Tips just put out a video the other day. They had an iMac and they broke the screen on it.
And Apple's refusing to fix it?
Yep. That's
Wow.
That is like they are offering money and Apple's turning them down because Apple doesn't want other people to make money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, it just puts Apple, it's making Apple more of a status symbol than an actual, I'm going to use this to get stuff done.
That's what it was before.
Like it's when Ferrari switched from tractors to fast cars. What was it, Lamborghini?
According to Discord, it is 4 p.m.
Lamborghini.
Correct. It's 4 o'clock
Yeah.
somewhere.
Mine says 8 o'clock.
Like I just put
Are you-
a picture in there of my stuff, and it says 4:08 p.m.
Are you on the? Is it UTC?
You're using a Radium from 2014.
I'm pretty sure it was 2014. Could have been 2015.
What? Did you just say?
I'm just looking at the specs for her computer, and AMD had, that was when they were making crappy processors. Why do they?
They've been making crappy processors since like a year ago, or before a year
Shots fired. There's another burned bridge.
ago. Like seriously, if you bought any computer with an i7 in it in the last probably 6 years or so, since they started doing them, if you have a second gen i7, it's still a perfectly fine functioning computer that can load everything just as fast as an i3 today, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like if you invest, it's like this laptop here. I haven't had any problems with it yet. It's 3 years old now, and it's still just as fast as when I bought it.
I've had
I think
to
you get more
factory
from
reset this one 3 times so far.
I think you're better off now upgrading your memory, like switching from a hard drive and throwing in a
Solid state
flash
drive's
drive.
the biggest jump. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll do way more than upgrading your processor.
Right, yes. But the thing is if you have a crappy processor, like if they sell you a computer with a Pentium in it, no matter what you fucking do with that computer, it's going to just slow down every time. And you can reset Windows and it'll speed back up for a bit. But no matter what, eventually the updates and everything that come with Windows over time is just going to fall behind and it won't be able to keep up anymore. And so they'll just release one that's just a little bit faster, but still really cheap and shitty that can handle the newest updates on Windows. So then somebody will buy that computer and then it'll be the same thing. They never last.
Built to break.
Oh, we're talking about Apple again?
I don't know. They've actually done a pretty solid job now with their phones. I don't mind the phones because I don't plan on ever taking my own phone apart and working on it. Because why? Like they're too small to work on yourself anyway. And
I just don't like the proprietary nature of Apple. That just really annoys me.
Yeah.
I hate that you have to have a computer for your iPhone to work properly. Like,
it's just a matter of, like I can drag and drop music onto my Android phone, but you have to go through iTunes and then, do whatever the hell. And then
right. That makes sense, I guess. But to me, the part of Apple that I enjoy, my iPhone the most that I enjoy is just the fact, actually, it's the same reason that I don't like most proprietary things, but it's because it is, and it actually works well together with its software, whereas every fucking Android phone I've ever had, it works good at first, but then after, give it time, and things start crashing, and then weird things happen periodically, and then you're restarting the phone, and then it always
they're more customizable.
Yeah, well, they work.
And I'll admit completely that Apple has very well engineered products for their stuff, but I just don't like proprietary nature of anything, really.
Yeah,
I like being able to, pick up a USB cable and then I can use it with my phone. I can use it with whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is nice.
Yeah,
and people get fined for not following that standard, right?
Well, what the hell's Apple doing with the Lightning port still? USB Type-C, boy.
Oh, baby. Didn't they install USB-C on their new laptops?
The
or
new
something?
Macs had it, and then they got rid of it.
They got rid of it.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Their magnet charging connector actually was a good idea. That made a lot of sense because if somebody walked by it, it would just break away, right? That was a good design. I like that.
That's a very good design. I like that too.
You don't get a snapped off connector or anything like that. I do like that more personally, but it was only good in like that one situation. So.
But
I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Apple bad.
Well,
Yep.
well, have we been going long enough?
Well,
I think
the
people that
whales
watch
have
this-
started swimming away, so
this podcast is sponsored by Whales.
Whale Industries Inc.
Whales, the country, whales, the animals, whales, the people, all of them.
Could you
Beautiful
imagine
whale.
how drunk somebody would get if they took a shot every time we said whale in this podcast?
I just said whale
I
like 5
encourage it.
times.
I encourage it.
We're gonna have a bunch of deaf people on our hands.
Oh, we're totally. Hey,
Well, then we
Justin,
can
how hard
extract
is
their
it to make a title card for
triglycerides.
this?
Save
The
the
whale-
whale. Kill the dead drunk people from our drinking.
Save the whale.
Yeah, save the whales.
So we started off talking about like harvesting whales for their fats and stuff, and now we're saying save the whales.
Save the whales and
Well,
extract the.
We need to use the whales efficiently.
Using whales efficiently.
It's like saving gasoline. You want to get most of it in the tank, right? Very little on the ground.
True.
And that's why they
Is
frown
that-
upon you just jamming a stick and walking away to have a cigarette, then running back to unjam it as it's overflowing.
Yeah, get the entire whale in your gas tank. What the hell?
If you were using it in like a an engine that didn't rely on explosions, would it work better? Like if you were to run a Stirling engine off whale.
Off whale.
Whale power. But okay, time to wrap up. Where can we find you, Ryan, if we ever need to find you and track you down if a whale goes missing or something?
I live in a whale. Like
Okay,
Japan.
Moby Dick?
Oh, Moby Dick. That's
Oh no, I said
a whole
Moby
other
Dick.
book. Moldy? What?
Moldy Dick? Isn't that the name of the book?
No.
No. No. Moldy Dick is what? No.
Perfection.
No.
He hit the nail on the head.
No. Right
he
on
hit
the head.
he hit the whale on the head.
The whale on the head. There
The
you
whale
go.
has to take some prescriptions for that, right? And they end up in the water supply. Other animals end up taking those prescriptions too, right?
Wait,
The
is this?
animals don't
we
have a
shouldn't-
choice in prescription.
This is
They
why
just-
we shouldn't give medication to animals. Wild animals.
Okay, that is a bit confusing, Justin, and we should not talk about that today. Robin, where can we find you?
It's in the little thingy above my head. That's
And
my
what are
Twitter.
you posting this week? Any new videos going up? Any new interesting stuff?
She doesn't do anything on Twitter. Don't follow her. She's boring.
I am boring.
Open the app once a week and like some.
Burning a bridge
Stuff.
again.
Sorry,
No
boy, I've
sponsors.
been calling you Robin all week. Hey, Justin, where can we find you?
Upwards above me. That's my Twitter and my Instagram. Other than that, leave me the hell alone. But I love you, all of you. That's it. You know, our website www.distractionsolutions.com. Will periodically be down, no doubt. I have to move out here soon, and so I'm going to be moving the
The
server.
pie has to move.
Yes, it's not a pie, it's a server. Very, very big Xeon.
Yeah.
I have a rack in my bedroom now, in my
So
closet.
I'm guessing
Size
it's going
of
to
a
move to
whale.
my office at the university, right?
If you, I don't know. We could. It's not, yeah. I don't know. Moving it here would be a pain. I have a feeling we're going to have problems with setting that up. Anyway, we'll
I
talk
think
about
we'll
that
get
after.
a second pie and then we'll just
Yeah, if you want.
duplicate it. And
All right, where do we
Okay.
find you?
Where do you find you, Will?
He's at
I'm
the real
going-
Donald Trump on Twitter. I know that.
No, I'm just
He
kidding.
says that
Okay.
every
I'm
week.
in,
And he's under a rock most Wednesdays.
Practicing moldy
good-
dick with his kinky margarine.
and I think it's time we close the stream.
All right. Well, see you next week. Uh, next Wednesday at 7, probably 7:15. Don't hold your breath on times. We're bad at those. But
Yeah, we don't have a guest
Apparently.
lined up yet, so
uh-oh.
we might wait till 5 minutes before again.
That's all right. It's all good. Don't matter. Doesn't matter
Okay, sounds good.
yet.
2 to lose.
2 to lose. Everybody say bye. 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye.
Whale.
Bye. Well, yes.